Welcome to our lecture online. In the previous video, we recognized that our very famous and well-known function, the electric field from a point charge, well, when we tried to find the divergence of that function, we found out that we get zero. And then we realized this theorem, the divergence theorem, where we knew that the integral of the divergence dv integrated over a volume must be equal to the surface integral of that very same vector function dot dA. Has to do with Gauss's law. So we know that from the previous video that on the left side we ended up with the zero for the divergence of the electric field from a point charge. Now on the right side, what will we get when we calculate the surface integral? Essentially the amount of electric flux going through a Gaussian surface. That's essentially what that equation is. Well, let's figure it out. So this is going to be, now remember that the dA can be defined in spherical coordinates like this. So this is equal to the surface integral. Now we have to integrate over two components. We're going to have to integrate over theta and over phi to get the entire surface of the sphere. We don't have to integrate over the radius because the radius is a constant for a sphere. So it's a double integral over theta and over phi. And the electric field is right here. That would be K times Q times 1 over R squared. And then, of course, that has to be multiplied by the R unit vector. And then we have the dot product times the area element, which is R squared times the sine of theta times d theta times d phi. And that would be also in the radial direction. So notice we have a dot product between two unit vectors, both the same unit vector in the radial direction. So that's r, which is 1, times the cosine of 0, which is 1. And so we could simply say, that gives us the result. Now, notice that this is going to be equal to, we have an r squared and r squared, they cancel out. The r dot r becomes 1. The kq goes outside integral sign, so we end up with a kq on the outside integral sign times the integral for theta. That's going to be from 0 to pi, and for phi that's going to be the integral from 0 to 2 pi, and then we have the sine of theta d phi, which we'll have to integrate. Now the integral of the sine of theta is the negative cosine of theta, so this will be equal to k times q times, and then here we'll have the negative cosine of theta evaluated from 0 to pi, times, and then we have the integral of d phi, which is phi, evaluated from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so that becomes k times q, and let me go ahead and put a negative sign. Well, let's go like this. We'll have times the negative 1. We'll take the negative sign out. So the cosine of theta evaluated pi, that's equal to negative 1. And then evaluated 0, that is minus 1 as well. So we have negative 1 minus 1. And multiply this times 2 pi. So notice that this negative negates those two negatives. That becomes 2 times 2, which is 4 pi. So this becomes 4 pi times k times q. And so that is what we get when we calculate the electric flux through a Gaussian surface. And using the divergence theorem, that should equal the divergence, but we realize that the divergence is equal to 0, and so therefore when we integrate over all the volume with a 0 divergence, we get 0. And so 0 can't possibly equal 4 pi kq. Now, remember that result, because in the future we're going to do a video where we can see how the Dirac delta function can take care of that problem, solve it for us, and enable us to figure out the divergence of a situation where we have a point charge, where there's only charge that exists at the 0 volume point. And therefore, it's not defined unless r equals 0, which is like a Dirac delta function in 3 dimensions. So stay tuned, remember this result, and we'll see how it's so useful when we try to solve it using the Dirac delta function. So that is how it's done.